Most founders think they have a discipline problem. I don't think they do. I think they have an identity familiarity problem. And I don't think that most women in business have actually ever been told that. So let's think about this. You finally raise your prices and you feel really good about it. You've made that decision, you know the value is there, and then next week you're on a sales call and it's going really well and you're about to say what the investment is, and then suddenly you start to feel contraction, maybe a little bit of like a in your throat, or you just genuinely start to feel that churning, right? We all know that feeling. So you discount and you tell yourself, all right, next time I just had to be more disciplined. I just need to hold the line. That was not your discipline. Your brain recognized something familiar in the old price point and it pulled you right back. And we're going to talk about what that actually is, because this applies to all areas of actually executing the thing that you've decided you want to do. So this, in this case, is not self-sabotage. It is not self-sabotage. That is the big lie that so many of my clients walk around telling themselves, I am just continually sabotaging. Well, I guess it kind of is self-sabotage, but it's not intentional self-sabotage. That story of, oh, I just sabotage every time I get to my next level, that is another repeated story that you are believing about yourself. Let's actually look at the facts. What is actually happening here? This is just your nervous system running a protection program. But the thing is here is that it is actually protecting an identity that you have outgrown. So the other day I posted something on Instagram and it had around 30,000 views. That is a lot for me, especially when it went over 3 minutes in a reel. And it was talking about how discipline was not what actually got me to the gym that day. I didn't want to go. It was miserable outside, raining, disgustingly cold. My legs were hurting from the day before. I did not want to go, but I had an appointment. What got me there was identity. And that is something that I know resonates with a lot of my clients. In fact, in Frequency First Business, I had a very similar conversation with another beautiful woman. She's a hairdresser. She's got a really successful salon. And she's like, I'm just not disciplined enough to have that 4 hours CEO time a week, or whatever it was that she was shaming herself for not being disciplined enough to do. So what do I mean by it was the identity that got me there? Because I too carry the story that I am just not disciplined. I am not disciplined. But then I look around and I'm like, look what I've created. Look what I have done. Look at the way I eat. Look at the way that I move my body. Look at the way that I show up to things. Like, I do have discipline, but I also create with rhythm as well. And I think that's one of the beautiful things. I've gone off on a tangent now, by the way. That's one of the beautiful things about being able to grow a business in a way that actually honors who you are, how your energy works, how your brain is built. Maybe it's neurospicy, maybe it's not. Being able to honor being a woman in business, knowing that our energy is cyclical, all of these things. So coming back to the identity piece, what got me to the gym that I talked about in this video was something that I continually tell myself, and that is, I am the woman who moves my body every day. Not forcing myself, not discipline as such, but becoming the woman. It was identity. And that distinction, for me at least, and I know for a lot of my clients, between forcing and becoming, that is where everything changes for your business too. Your brain doesn't just chase goals, it protects what is familiar. And if the version of you who built this business isn't the same version that can lead it to its next level, and it likely isn't, then your brain will take you back every time because it is running on old internal programming. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you a 3-question exercise that will show you exactly where your identity is keeping you stuck, and link you to a tool that I have created that is going to actually go and give it a full name for you, give it language, and give it a whole next step as well. So the woman who hits a plateau, I don't know, around the $150,000 mark, she is clearly not lacking strategy. And she's also clearly not lacking motivation. She's certainly not lazy. She may be a little tired and burnt out, because I'm willing to bet she's still the bottleneck, but she's certainly not lazy. What happens when we hit that plateau before our next level of growth is that your nervous system has decided that that next level is unfamiliar, and we treat unfamiliar as a threat. Sometimes, particularly if we have been operating from an identity from a really, really long period of time, if that identity was formed from beliefs around protection and survival as a child, then actually detaching from that identity and allowing another part to lead your business genuinely feels life-threatening to your nervous system. The nervous system does not know the difference between I'm about to become visible to 50,000 people and there is something in that room that could hurt me. The response is the same. Cortisol, adrenaline, contraction, pullback. So thinking about the conversation that I started, I know I've opened a few threads today, guys. Welcome to my brain. Thinking about the conversation that we started earlier about discounting the prize. You are doing that to stay small in the conversation, to not be seen as an identity that isn't maybe comfortable with money. There's so many contributing factors to what's underneath it, but essentially you are not actively self-sabotaging, and having that awareness of why you don't press send on the post that actually speaks your mind, or why you are not allowing yourself to be visible or standing on the stage that you want to stand on, or setting next level income goals that you know are going to grow not only your impact, but your whole business operating system, which obviously increases your impact. And then you call it a discipline problem because that's the language that we have for it. But discipline was never the issue, and it really pisses me off to see people online and they're like, oh, you just need to be more disciplined. And it doesn't matter about your mindset, and it doesn't matter about your identity, and it's just show up and do the thing. Well, guess what? Showing up and doing the thing from an identity that doesn't know how to hold what it is that you are actually trying to achieve. Yes, it may take the action. It also may not. It may completely freeze. It may continue to sabotage you. But at some point, it is going to show up that you are not able to hold this. And that doesn't always happen in that thing just disappearing. It can actually happen through illness. It can happen through so many different ways that we are going to actually unknowingly sabotage. And all of that is our nervous system trying to keep us in a safe, familiar space. So the issue has always been that you were trying to make next level decisions from a nervous system that is actually wired for an old identity. So when those two things are in conflict, the nervous system is going to win every single time. So the next level, it requires you also to tolerate emotions that you may not have built capacity for yet. Let's really not try and pretend like entrepreneurship is not the most wildest, emotional, personal development, shadow facing, identity, death, rebirth process that we will ever go through. Visibility, walking into rooms where you are not the safest person. Authorities, holding the decision when people disagree with you. Putting yourself out on platforms like this where the comments will be interpreting what I'm saying in their own way. Pricing, so charging what the thing is actually worth and not rescuing them from it. Delegation, letting go of the things that made you successful so that you can do the thing that makes you scalable. None of these are strategy problems. These are all emotional capacity problems. They are identity familiarity problems. Because even one of those decisions feels unfamiliar to the version who built this business. And unfamiliar equals threat. We need to have that awareness. Doesn't mean we stop. It means that we do it in a identity safe, expanding, reprogramming way. And know when this is coming up. This is exactly why we have our rebirth pathway in frequency first business. Because your business grows at the speed of the decisions that you're willing to make and the actions that you are willing to take alongside those decisions. Not just the actions, what am I willing to do, but who am I willing to be? How am I willing to think? What decisions am I making that inform those actions? Not the speed of your strategy, not the speed of your content calendar, the speed at which you can make the next level decision, feel the discomfort, and not undo it. So if you've been telling yourself that you just need more discipline, I'm willing to bet that's not it. You have been trying to discipline your way through a nervous system response, and that's like trying to talk yourself out of a panic attack. If you've ever had a panic attack, you know exactly what I mean. It doesn't work. I want you to think about one decision that you know that you need to make right now. Maybe it's a price change, or it's a boundary you need to set, or it's a conversation that you need to have, or a hire you need to make. Ask yourself really honestly, what is more uncomfortable with this? Is it making the decision? Because I actually think you've probably already made it. Or is it becoming the person who makes decisions like that, therefore having to actually do it, action it, be that person? Sit with that. So you don't become your next identity by thinking differently. That's where it starts, but that's not how you actually truly become. You become her through repeated evidence. You don't wake up one day as the woman who just charges premium prices with zero hesitation. You become her by charging them once, surviving the discomfort, creating safety in your body, and then doing it again. You don't become the woman who delegates by reading about delegation. You become her by hiring someone, feeling that discomfort, finding safety in your body, and not rescuing yourself from that discomfort and not rescuing that person either. Small leadership decisions made daily. We have a whole phase, our whole phase 5 of our rebirth pathway is dedicated to that, because that is where the identity shifts that you make in the way that you stop leading from survival, in the way that you are activating different parts of you, in the way that you are thinking differently, making different decisions, but then being the person who actually actions them. This is where the identity shifts hold. Not in this big realization, but in the small, repeated proof that you are actually becoming that person. So here is the exercise that I promised you at the beginning. I want you to grab something. We have 3 questions here. Number 1, think about the last big decision that you reversed. Maybe you raised your prices, then you discounted, or you set a boundary and then you softened it, or you hired someone because you're putting on your big girl pants and you're delegating, but then you micromanaged the whole time. I want you to write it down. Write that down. 2, what identity was actually making that decision? Was that the woman who plays safe, the one who needs to be liked, the one who believes that more success equals what? Meaning have you attached to that? The woman who doesn't trust herself with more? Name her really honestly, because you cannot fix what you cannot name. And don't overthink this either. She doesn't need to have a perfect name. And then 3, what would the next level version of you have done instead? Write that down. So that gap between answer 2 and answer 3, that is not a strategy gap, but it is also not a discipline gap. That is your identity work. That's where your business actually grows. So now you know what's happening here. It is not intentional self-sabotage. It is not because you are someone who just sabotages your success intentionally and you're not made for more, because you are made for more. You are made for everything that you desire, and probably more than you even realize you desire, because you've got to get to that desire until you can realize that there is more. Your brain is just doing exactly what it was designed to do, protect the familiar. So no, you are not undisciplined. We don't need to say that. I know we've said it so many times in this video. You are not undisciplined. Knowing that though, that is such a powerful first step. So you can go, oh, okay, I see, I'm growing, I'm stretching here. I see what my body's trying to do. I see what my brain is trying to do. I see why these stories are coming up now. I see why I'm getting to that income ceiling and then I keep circling my way back down. Or I have a crisis, or I become really unwell. I call these ascension symptoms. You learn all about them in phase 0 of Frequency First Business. But knowing isn't just enough. Knowing why your brain takes you back doesn't stop it from happening. What stops it is learning how to make decisions that actually build your next level from a nervous system that can hold the capacity for that version of you. Your nervous system, your identity, and your business, they are all in the same room, whether you are treating them that way or not. That is exactly what we are going to be discussing in the next video, and that is going to play right now, so you can stay for that. And if you want to go and put language to what is happening for you, you can go and take my business growth diagnostic. It is linked below. It takes just 5 minutes. It will show you exactly which of my 5 growth ceilings you are hitting and which one to actually address first, what to do, how to actually move through it so that you can make your next level decisions and have them actually stick.